The funny thing happens is this whole process of deciding you're going to take care of your money. Now, some of us are nerds. I mean, even before I did this stuff, I would sit down. Y'all remember the old checkbook registers? Any of you old enough to remember old checkbook registers in the back of your checkbook before there was the web and before there was the internet? And you would write down, every check, and then you would, your bank statement, there was a physical paper bank statement with the actual physical checks would come in the mail each month. And you would check off the checks in the statement and make sure that the right amount was charged, the amount that you had written down, and you would physically reconcile with like a calculator. That's what they had, these things called calculators back then. Physically reconcile your checkbook and really know what was going on. I'm the guy that did that from the time I was 16 on. I'm that big a nerd. I really am. And some of you did that. Now, I mean, with the internet and, you can online banking, you can balance your checkbook in about or reconcile your checkbook in about 30 seconds now. It doesn't take time at all. It's very, very fast to do. People don't even realize they're doing it hardly anymore. But it's a good exercise. But I was that nerd. Most people are not that nerdy. I mean, I had yellow pad lists. I always had a list before there was a budget. There was even a list, and always sweating it, worrying about it, fretting over it. Most people don't do that. Most people have an experience like that last caller. They're going along. In the South, we call it diddy bopping. They're just diddy bopping along. Kind of in a phase, kind of in a haze, kind of foggy, but everything's good as long as there's no bumps in the road. There's no reason to steer the car different. We're just rolling along here, and then something happens. There's a big layoff at work. They didn't get you, but they're probably going to get you next time. Transmission goes out on the car. Aunt Henrietta dies halfway across the United States. You got to buy an airline ticket, and you don't have any money to go to the funeral. You want to buy a house. That was the last call, right? Something happens that goes, I probably ought to look at this money thing. I need to pay attention. I'm going to start paying attention. And the first thing that happens is you kind of start making these lists in your mind. You don't really write them down because you're not as nerdy as me. But the fog starts to clear and you start to go, you have an oh crap moment, don't you? Like, oh crap, this is a mess. Oh no, I got debt. Last caller, I got $6,000 in collections. And there's this oh no moment, right? And you kind of get the sweat going, You remember the sweat, usually like right above your lip, a little bit in the palm of your hand, sometimes a little bit right above your eye. Your eyes dilate, your heart rate increases, and you're like, oh, crud, I got a problem here. This is like grown-up stuff. I'm going to actually have to pay attention. That's the first thing that happens is you realize there is a problem. That is the best day of your financial life if you let it be. My dad used to say 90% of solving a problem is realizing there is one. You ever meet people who have misbehavior in their lives, but they're not self-aware enough to know it? They don't even know there's a problem. They're oblivious. They're unconscious about life and about their problem. They're never going to fix it because they don't even think there's a problem. They don't know there's a problem. It's the same way with your finances. You're not going to fix it until you know there's a problem. The best thing can happen is you go, oh, there's a problem. Oh my gosh, there's a problem. Then you start to realize, I'm the problem. It's my fault. No one did this to me. I'm not a victim. It's my fault. Well, unless you want to play the victim. And if you want to play the victim, you can always go, I'm a poor millennial. I have student loans and the society is taking advantage of me. Or you can play all that crap. But most people just go, it's my fault. I screwed up. What am I going to do? And this sense of being overwhelmed is very real. Changes your heart rate. It stresses your butt out. That is awesome as long as you do something about it. Because if that's in psychology, they call that dissonance. And if that inconsistency, that dissonance in your life says, I'm going to move away from this pain towards something that fixes it, you will move towards doing your budget. And when you do your first budget, you will have this release moment, like you breathed in cool mountain air, like a sigh. Because when you do your budget and you really detail everything out, very seldom are things as bad as they felt when you didn't know the details. Not knowing the details is a monster in the closet. The boogeyman is in the closet, and he's never really there as bad as you think he is. Now, some people discover it's worse than they thought it was, but very few. Most people, when they write it all out, I mean, that lady made $80,000 a year. She had $15,000 in debt. I mean, you guys listen to this show. That's just nothing. I mean, people pay that stuff off in 20 minutes listening to the show. But she was completely freaked out in the corner, like, oh, God, this is so bad, because she hadn't moved to that next step yet of writing it all out in detail, combing the tangles out of the hair. And when you do that, you're going to discover we've got the money to fix this. And when you do that first budget, that's why I always tell people you feel like you got a raise. And the reason is you feel like there's not enough money when you're overwhelmed. You feel like, oh, we're stuck. Oh, my gosh. Oh, we're going to die. And you go into the drama queen mode, right? But as soon as you do the budget, it all calms down. It's like, I think we can do this. I think we make enough money. Where's all the money going? All we got to do is stop doing this and stop doing this and sell this, and all we got to do is this, and you have all we got to do moments all through the thing, right? All we got to do is, and it's readily apparent to you, people with common sense right there. As soon as you write it down and you do that budget, you feel like you got a raise because you can see how you're going to get traction to win. This is why 3 million people use EveryDollar, our online budgeting app. That's completely free for your iPhone or your Droid. The reason 3 million people are using it is they have that moment and they go, I'm going to have to be a grown-up. There's a phrase going around, the new phrase the cool kids use, I'm adulting, where adult has become a verb, being an adult as a verb. I'm adulting. Have you seen that? Yeah, it's a cool way of saying I used to be a child and now I'm going to act like I'm a grown-up, even though I've been walking around a grown-up body for maybe a decade. Now I'm adulting. But that's all it is you're deciding I'm going to be grown up. I'm going to take responsibility for my actions, my future, my destiny, and even my past. I'm going to put it behind me with a plan, and I'm going to execute on the plan. This is why EveryDollar, the app, is exploding, because it's giving people the power to do that. If you're really ready to get control, the first step is you have that old crap moment. And then the second step is you begin to do away with the anxiety that comes with that moment by laying out a plan. A detailed, nerdified plan. The good news is we've been doing this so long, it only takes you about 10 minutes on EveryDollar. You do all this with like 19 yellow pads and stacks of bills on your, all over your kitchen table. You're just going to get more and more and more stressed out. But jump on EveryDollar. It's designed to help you put the thing together quickly and easily. Did I mention it's free? And did I mention that there's 3 million people out there that seem to know something some of you don't know? Don't wait until you have an oh crap moment. Just decide, I'm going to adult. Or see, I used it as a verb. Did you see I did that? That's pretty good. I'm going to adult. I'm going to get on EveryDollar. I'm going to be a grown-up. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.